Today I will be talking with you about relationships and marriages. You know, why do they fail, and why are we in relationships in the first place? So, I want to start off by asking you, how many of you have ever been in a relationship or dated anyone? Right, so there's a big majority. How many of you, those of you that raise your hands, how many of you can say that that was a successful relationship?
Kind of.
Right? There's a few. You know? So I want you to keep this question in your minds. I want you to reflect on it as I give my presentation. So go on to the next slide. So you have Matrix Morpheus. He says, what if I tell you there's more to a relationship and marriage than you think? So today, in today's society, marriages and relationships have crumbled. They have become a mere a shadow of what they're supposed to be. And divorce is severely glorified in today's media. And as a result, we're left with broken hearts and families who aren't complete. I myself have never dated anyone. The reason why is because I've never felt that I'm ready to. I cannot give all my respect and my attention to a woman because I'm just not ready. I'm not a man enough yet. You know, and to give her anything less than that would be to disrespect her and disrespect myself. Because all I would want would be to satisfy my needs. So, you know, like, my wants, my desires. And so our relationships today are not centered around love. There's much more to pursue in a relationship with someone than just sex, money, or appearance, or just bragging rights saying, hey, I have the hottest girlfriend. So today I will be talking with you about the effects this has had on society, this false sense of love, and why love is absent in the first place, and how we can overcome these great societal issues. So if you could go on. Oh, there it is. The next slide. So marriage has lost all of its sense of meaning in today's society. You know, today divorce is glorified. In fact, according to Patrick Fagan, he says that half the children born this year to married parents will see their parents split up before they reach adulthood. So it's very common. And I don't have the proper citation, but 50% of marriages today are divorced. And that is huge. That's every other couple has been divorced or has been in unsuccessful marriage. So in today's society, marriage is viewed as just the next step in a relationship. In most cases, the couple is already sexually active and they're just looking to make things official. And many times we see in the media, marriages go on for as little as 6 months. And when I see that, I think to myself, well, what was the point of getting married? Like, what is the difference between your relationship before you got married and now that you are married, besides the fact to change your relationship status on Facebook? Like, there's more to it. And so, and then the second problem is that pornography and sex rule our world. Every time you step outside a classroom, every time you turn a corner, there is something sexual trying to attract your mind and your attention. And that is depriving all of us of our respect, you know? We're told that sex is normal in a relationship, you know, but we don't see the effects, the bad effects that it has in our hearts, you know, when we engage in sexual contact with each other. So why exactly is this happening? Well, if we take a look at the causes, there is a big lack of leadership and family role models. According to an article by Hannah Furness posted on the Telegraph titled, "A Dad is the 10th Most Popular Christmas List Request for Children," she gives an overview of a study done to 2,000 parents on Christmas. And so they just wanted to see what kids wanted for Christmas, right? And they put toys, you know, iPads, whatever. But they were surprised that the 10th most popular item was a dad. These kids wanted a father, and they didn't have that. And so these kids are growing up without a complete family. And when they grow up and they look for a relationship, they're going to reflect on what happened in their family, and they're going to be pursuing some sort of similar relationship. And so it's this big domino effect that just keeps happening. Another one of the causes is that no one is telling you, like I said before, no one is telling you how bad of an effect pornography is having on us as a society. You know, we repeatedly tell women that we need to see their bodies in order to see their beauty. This is not true. This is harming us. You know, the other day I was watching. I was visiting my grandmother in the hospital, and I was in the waiting room, and I was watching TV because there was nothing else to do. You know, so I was watching TV, and it was a Hispanic television show, and it was talking about Venezuelan women and their struggle to reach the Miss Universal beauty pageant. And so these women were lined up. They were all gorgeous women, but they were lined up, and they would go in front of a judge, and the judge would go over, he'd walk around them and say, this isn't good. He'd point to things, and then he'd point to this, and then he'd say no, and he would go around and look at their bodies and said, no, I don't like this. The whole point was he was judging everyone there, telling them, hey, you're not beautiful, you're not good enough. And so they have to change through plastic surgery. This is the lie we keep telling ourselves as a society, is that we need beautiful women. But we don't need appearance to show that they're beautiful. You know? So what can we do to kind of just undo these things? Like, sorry? Just kind of undo, help ourselves, because these are big lies that we're telling ourselves, but we're not reminded of daily. No one is telling us just how bad of an effect this is having on us. So, and some solutions that we may have is to ask ourselves, well, what really is love in a relationship? You know, what is love? What is marriage? You know, when you engage into a relationship, when you say, hey, I want to date you, well, the conclusion you want to reach is to eventually marry that person. Otherwise, why are you in a relationship in the first place, other than to satisfy your needs? You know, it's selfish to engage in a relationship without that conclusion of marriage. And so, I have seen that when a man and a woman love God more than they do themselves. Now, a lot of the times when we hear God, we shut our ears and we say, oh no, religion. But when you think about it, when you're not focused on each other's flaws, and when you're not focused on what they can provide for you, it goes along so much smoother. It's not easy, but it's just a lot better because you're not focused on that person's flaws or what he can't provide for you. You know? So, in the Bible, it says, woman came from man, rib, yes. So I'm going to skip that. Never mind. So another thing about love is how we can reach this love is that it takes a certain level of maturity, which is why I asked how many of you had a successful relationship. Most of you said no, because it takes a certain level of maturity to know that what other people want is to put down all of your needs and to see what other people want. To say, I don't care about what I want to know what you want. And that is what love really is. That's just a piece of love. So in conclusion, a relationship should be a beautiful thing instead of something that ends in tragedy. You heard today that society faces crumbling marriages and broken hearts and unsuccessful families. We must love each other before we can undergo any type of relationship. So next time you're in a relationship, stop and ask yourself, what do I really want out of this relationship? And that is all.
How do you stop it?
That was confusing.
It doesn't want to stop. Still recording. I pressed it.
Yeah. Oh.
What happened? It's still recording. Baby, chill out.
That's a bomb. I didn't rehearse for that.
Stop.
Thank you. I did 9 minutes. That's like 10 points. Oh, it's not recording.